Speed on the Bear Fire. This is part of the North Complex, which has burned more than 250,000 acres and is only 38% contained. Fire officials say it's moving so fast it's burning at a rate of 1,000 acres per half hour. Evacuation orders are in effect for parts of Yuba, Plumas, and Butte counties. This is actually just south of where the campfire burned back in 2018.
Left of a house right off of Simmons Road. That's on the eastern side of Lake Oroville here, right off Highway 162. And this is one of the areas that was actually evacuated. With smoke so thick, it's difficult to see, but boats are still floating at Bidwell Canyon Marina, and California's first mother orange tree is still standing next to the historic Bidwell Bridge. But it's a much different story playing up on Highway 162. There is a reason these roads are shut down here. Oh my gosh, they're so hard to see. There is fire everywhere. Burn scars cover the hillside all along the eastern edge of Lake Oroville. Oof. Flames are not far. Up Simmons Road, homes in a tree-covered neighborhood are on fire. So these house fires are really random in this area. You'll find houses like this on fire down the road, and then just up the road, you'll find houses untouched by the flames. Intermittent winds intensify the fire. This time-lapse video shows just how fast the flames can burn through a home. Fire crews spread out in an attempt to put out flames and create a fire line as wildlife of all kinds flee the area. It's getting really close. Further down Simmons Road, water hoses were left around the home, but with weak water pressure, our efforts were minimal to get the ground wet. With each gust of wind, Phil Nye watches as brush piles near his home of 18 years burn like matches.
Seems pretty safe here, you know. I got everything pretty cleaned up around here, and
Fire crews keep a close eye, but Phil went to great lengths this spring to create defensible space around his home. So this doesn't worry you at all, like it's pretty close.
nah, it could be okay.
Phil ignored evacuation orders. Defensible space or not, the fire on Simmons Road is dangerous and unpredictable. Gone through, but there's still some of these small fires burning within these trees, making it extremely dangerous for anyone walking through these forests here. And it's extremely dangerous as we go up.
Evacuated and are now, for the first time, without anything. I want y'all to take a look right behind me. This is Lake Oroville. You can barely see it, but there are still a couple boats docked.
The winds are not helping the newest fire, the Willow fire in Yuba County. This one started overnight in Loma Rica and burned to 1,000 acres. It is not contained and mandatory evacuations are in effect. We're going to go to ABC 10's media.
Hi, but let me show you what the affected area looked like last night. This video was taken by CAL FIRE as their trucks were driving by. A couple, you can definitely see the flames on their left and on their right side as they were driving by. Now, a couple hours ago, we were told by CAL FIRE that the Willow fire currently stands at over 1,300 acres with 0% containment. Over 700 structures are threatened. 14 homes have either been destroyed or damaged. Luckily, no injuries have been reported. CAL FIRE says the cooler temps have helped, but the firefight is not over. You heard it there. The firefight continues now. I asked CAL FIRE when the evacuated community of Loma Rica would be able to return. They said as soon as the fire is out and it is determined to be safe, they will of course let people know. Now, they couldn't give me an exact timeline because, as we know, fire is very unpredictable.
Than a week ago, crews rescued more than 200 people when a wildfire exploded in size and then surrounded them in flames. Crews had to use night vision goggles and make several trips to make this happen. President Trump says their unyielding determination is what lifts our nation. And we now know more than 375 homes have been destroyed. This along with hundreds of other buildings. The fires that make up the complex carved out a 25-mile path of destruction from Quincy all the way over to Oroville in just one night. They've now burned almost 77,000 acres.
Layer of warmer air 4,000 feet above the ground, which prevented the higher winds from aloft from making it into our area.
Let's bring you back to the wildfire story as we look at what's happening in the U.S. Northwest and the fires that are just raging through Washington State, through Oregon, and through California. Again, some of the scenes from California and what is called the North Complex fire. And the scenes of the aftermath as the flames move on, and that Shaver Lake, which is near Fresno. I want to bring in, right from the fire zone, Danya back.
It was a week old. It's been burning for a week. It was about 50% contained before strong winds came through and then fueled that fire that sent it ripping through a town, a small town there called Berry Creek, where officials are saying that at least 10 people have died, and they're saying that that death toll could climb because searchers are still looking for at least 16 people who remain missing there.
Danya, thousands of homes and buildings burned, and obviously the human toll is considerable, and that is just in California. Can you give us the picture in those other two states I was mentioning, and in Southern California as well, just the broader picture with these scenes of just massive infernos? What else is going on?
You know, it's in life when it comes to the fires burning in her state. In Washington state there, we do know that they're also dealing with deaths when it comes to people who were trying to escape the fires that just weren't able to make it out in time. What we are seeing just across the West is a record number of wildfires burning. Here in California, we have now reached nearly 3 million.
Largest fire in California history. Here's a look at our current air quality, and you can see some of the dots there representing unhelpful and unhelpful for sensitive groups. We have some very unhelpful and hazardous air a little closer to the coast, where we were seeing some of those golden pictures, those eerie pictures coming out of the Bay Area. Southwest winds, though, like I said, starting to change up this smoke pattern ever so slightly. Here's what it's looked like for most of the day, and you can see what appears to be cloud cover. That's all smoke moving through the valley. There's no clouds to be found out there. Up at the Tahoe Basin, it's actually clear skies with blue skies up there. Temperatures, meantime, because of the dense smoke, have stayed about 14 to almost 30 degrees cooler than yesterday at this time, holding in the 60s and 70s for the most part. It's warmer for some of the foothill locations that are actually seeing just a little bit less smoke. Again, tonight, we see a shift in our weather pattern with our winds. That's going to push some of that smoke a little farther off to the east into the foothills and the Sierra. We'll talk about that and the cooler weather ahead coming up.
Thank you, Monica.